Persephone's multi-map feature can help you identify and track syntenic relationships between individual maps or across the entire pangenome. Multi-map can work with markers or gene orthologs. Let's start with orthologs. You can open multi-map from Persephone's Tools menu like this, but if you already have a reference map on the screen, you can also right-click an annotation track and select Find Synteny from the pop-up menu. This is the main multi-map dialog. On the left side, you can see a list of all the map sets whose maps have ortholog connectors to your chosen track. Map sets with no available orthologs are hidden, though you can view them by toggling this checkbox. Click a map set to display a list of tracks in the top portion of the dialog. As you can see, the tracks are sorted by the total number of available connectors, but you can change the sort order if desired. Let's add some connected maps to the plot by clicking this plus button. As you add each map, its entry moves into the bottom half of the dialog, and the map appears in the mini dot plot here on the right side. Let's add a few more maps. Then close the dialog and take a look at the main screen. In the multi-map view, maps are displayed in condensed mode. Only the connected tracks, in this case, annotation tracks, are visible, and all other tracks are hidden. You can bring back the other tracks by clicking their bubbles in the track panel as usual. For example, let's turn the ruler and GC content tracks back on. This green banner at the top of the screen contains various multi-map display options, so let's take a look at it in more detail. The Edit button in the top left corner reopens the multi-map dialog. If you want to keep this dialog open, you can always dock it, like so. The connector opacity slider makes the individual connectors bolder or fainter as needed. You might have noticed that in multi-map mode, the connected features, in this case annotations, are highlighted in red or blue. Blue features are connected to the reference. Red features have no such connectors. The Feature Color Balance slider further emphasizes red features to reveal gaps in the syntenic arrangement, or blue features to reveal contiguous blocks. Keep in mind that the red-blue color scheme only takes into account the connectors to the reference map, which is usually displayed at the top of the screen. You can also turn off this checkbox to return to the default feature color scheme. You can use the collinearity slider to emphasize connectors that fall outside of contiguous syntenic blocks, or to hide them. Track labels are hidden by default in multi-map mode just to save space on the screen, but you can bring them back with this checkbox. Click the Draw Ribbons checkbox to cluster individual connectors into ribbons, like so. Ribbons in direct orientation are shown in blue and green. Ribbons that are inverted are shown in red and brown. You can use this slider to adjust the clustering sensitivity, fine to emphasize individual syntenic blocks, or coarse to aggregate smaller blocks into large ribbons. You can also adjust the opacity of these ribbons as desired. To further emphasize the ribbons themselves, you can toggle this checkbox to hide the clustered connectors so that only their ribbon remains visible. Click this checkbox to hide connectors between individual maps and connect all the maps only to the reference. This mode is useful when you're examining scaffolds or other small contigs. Finally, you can click the X button in the upper right corner to exit multi-map mode. Let's add a few more maps to the view. As you can see, whenever a new map is added to the screen, the entire plot is auto-arranged. To prevent this from happening, uncheck the Align Maps on Add checkbox. Now, newly opened maps will be placed at the bottom of the screen. You can always auto-arrange the maps on demand by clicking this toolbar button. You can change the reference map at any time by clicking the checkbox next to it. As you can see, the reference map is always shown in bold at the top of the list. It is also clearly marked in the main view by its green border. After changing the reference, you can auto-arrange the view. As you can see, the reference map will always move to the top of the screen. You can also click and hold this button to remove all maps that are not connected to the current reference, and you can remove individual maps by clicking the X button next to them or by closing them in the main view, as usual. For now, let's clear the screen and switch from examining gene orthologs to examining markers on the rice pangenome. When the screen is empty, the multi-map dialog displays a list of all maps that could be potentially connected to each other. Let's switch the dialog to marker mode, then select chromosome 6 of Japonica rice as our reference. These markers, called tags, were artificially generated in Persephone's shell, then mapped across the entire rice pangenome. Since we're using chromosome 6 as our reference, it is no surprise that the best matches in other varieties of rice also occur in chromosome 6. But now, the pattern of connected markers reveals potential structural variations between these maps. To examine a syntenic region in more detail, you can zoom in by rolling the mouse wheel as usual, hover over a marker, then right-click it and select Align Connected Features from the pop-up menu. Persephone will line up all of the maps where the marker is present. Note that when you hover the mouse over the Connected Map feature, it and all of its connected siblings are highlighted in red. After zooming into a potentially interesting region, such as this inversion, you can click one of these buttons to run a real-time sequence alignment between the maps, either using Minimap 2 or, if you are zoomed in to a smaller region, Blast N. By the way, in this video, we've been displaying curved connectors. You can switch back to the traditional straight connectors in settings, like so, but curved connectors tend to look better in screenshots. After arranging the maps to your liking, you can choose this item from the Tools menu to create an SVG screenshot, suitable for publication.